If you want to stay up to date with all current hip-hop events and releases, make sure to subscribe and become part of this community. Oh, and also, go cop that fresh merch and listen to my new songs in the description. Has Travis Scott missed on any of his features in 2022? Today, we're going to take a look at if that statement is either true that he hasn't missed on any, or if it's false so that there are a couple of dozen there. So let's jump straight into this. So this idea stems from an Instagram post from Our Generation Music, which, by the way, is a great resource if you're into hip hop. And, I just want to shout them out because, I took this idea kind of from them, or I took their post and give my opinion on them. But they, went on Instagram to share their take that Travis Scott has not missed on any of his features in 2022. And this is already like a statement where I was like, wait a minute, is this actually true? Well, then they go on, they provide a list of the features that Travis did in 2022. And I was just kind of looking over this and I was like, on a couple of these, I would disagree. So that's why I'm making this video, to talk about the ones that I disagree with, or also the ones that I agree with. And of course, this is going to be a video where a lot of people are going to feel a lot of different type of ways. And if you specifically like a song that I'm like, I don't like this one, let me know in the comments. That's what we're all here for. That's what the community is for. Or if, they missed any that you really liked, then also be sure to let the fans know in the comments. But let's jump straight into this with the first one. Pussy in Millions. So this feature is not that long ago. Pussy in Millions was on Her Loss, and a lot of people were hyping this one up, but I don't see the hype with this one. This is the first one I disagree with. Now, Travis' part wasn't bad. It was just like his normal rapping part. And I get that he kind of picked it up a little bit along, with it. But on certain features, I feel like Travis could do so much more. For example, I also felt the same way on Hats Off of that Lil Baby and Lil Durk album. While that track was great, I thought Lil Baby, stood out way more on that track than Travis did. And Travis is capable of so much more. I just remember features for like James Blake where he completely went into like God mode, or even a couple of the ones on here that we're going to look at in a second. So this one I don't agree with. I mean, I'm not saying he missed. It's more like, if you say he has missed, you're just saying like all of them are great, but I don't see the Pussy in Millions feature as being that great. Could have easily been replaced by a lot of people, and that's why I don't think it's that great. The next one though, Open Arms, it just came out yesterday, and if you were there live with me on Twitch and you were like listening to this with me on Twitch, I love this. This feature was amazing. I love that he rapped. I love that he kind of opened up. He wasn't like in his normal state of rapping, his normal flow. It was more of like a more intimate one, and I really love that. So I'm completely agree with him not missing on Open Arms. Probably his best feature this year. It goes on with the Metro Boomin one, Raindrops. I also like this track a lot, even though there were some problems with the mixing right as it dropped. A lot of you also reported that, and I, kind of picked up on that in the Twitch live listening stream to this, which, by the way, as I said, follow me on Twitch every Friday. We're listening to the biggest albums that week, so it's only a dub. But Raindrops is pretty good. I like that. That's definitely like his lane that he's in. Now, Hold That Heat, though, the song was pretty good. I remember it dropping in like fall, bro. I mean spring. I think it was like April. And I liked the song at the time. I didn't quite like the dynamic that Future and Travis had going on. I didn't think that they hit it off like that well. Travis' part was also like, he could have done it. He could have done so much more, kind of like Pussy in Millions. He just kind of did what you would expect, even though the hook is dope. The hook is really dope with Travis, like when he goes into that lower mode of his voice. I like that. So Hold That He is kind of like in between. Now, Niagara Falls, I'm torn, because on one side I really like the track. I think that this one though is worse than the leak we had. He also has a really weird ad-lib on this one. If you know what I'm talking about, you know what I'm talking about. But it's like, was it that great? I feel like it's worse than Raindrops. It's also worse than a lot of the stuff that's, not a lot of the stuff, but some of the stuff that's still coming. So it's kind of like in between again. It's kind of like I like it and it definitely fits Travis' style, but it's not like completely mind-blowing. So I'm really not sure on this one. But let me know how you like Niagara Falls, especially now also the changed version, which we had the leak one before. Now, Lock on Me is definitely, I don't know. I'm not saying he missed, but that was not that great. The hook was really, I don't know, it was like uninteresting, boring. I also thought that, Thugger was on that track, right? Yeah, Thugger was on that track. He didn't bring anything to the table as well. Lock on Me, I thought, could have been a much better track. It kind of, also is like a worse version of the other three Travis features that we had on Heroes and Villains. So I'm not happy with Lock on Me. It could have just been, gone from the track list and nobody would really complain. Kind of bad, too bad, because it's the second to last track on the track list, excluding the bonus track. So it could have been so much more, but sadly it's not. So Lock on Me, not one of my favorite tracks off of Heroes and Villains. So I guess missed, but it's like, that's harsh to say. It's not that great, that's just it. Same goes for Let's Pray. Who put that on there? When I saw Don Toliver and Travis, I was like, okay, we're in for something. Khaled definitely tapped in with them and made a great track. Now, I got to be honest. I listened to the album, listened to it a couple more times. The track never really caught my attention, never really caught me in the way that I would go back to it and listen to it, many times. I expected way more because you see Travis Scott and Don Toliver, so you expect fucking, Travis Scott and Don Toliver to come through and do some crazy stuff. Really wasn't that crazy. So I would say that track is like the most forgettable on this list, and that's why maybe it's also like in the lower category, like the missed category, quote unquote. His feature on Never Sleep, I thought Lil Baby's feature was dope. I thought Lil Baby's feature was definitely one that, stood out on that track. But Travis's was more like a normal verse, and that's kind of like the tricky situation Travis is in, because he's not that great of a rapper. He's more of like an artist, if that makes any sense. So if he comes through on a feature and only does like a 16, just like rapping, it's never that interesting. That's why this one also wasn't that interesting, but it's not as bad as Let's Pray or Lock on Me, so I put it above those two, but then definitely in the missed tier. Trance though, I love Trance, man. I feel like Trance is one of the only tracks, together with what is it called? The Don Toliver and Future thing. All these nights like these. Too many nights. That is the title of that one. It's more of a psychedelic sound that I loved so much about Not All Heroes Wear Capes, and Metro definitely captured that on this track as well. So I'm really happy about Trance, and I feel like Travis also did it justice. Down in Atlanta, maybe the best track on here. I'm kidding, but it's definitely up there. Down in Atlanta, I heard it. I heard the snippets on Pharrell's TikTok and stuff like that, and I was like, okay, this is going to be cool because, Travis is linking up with Pharrell. And then it dropped, and I was kind of like, okay, is this it? Like, it never builds up, really. At least at the end it does a little bit, because it's like more hype in the end. But I expected a little bit more, but I gotta say, this track is one that like grows on you heavy. Like, you also see it doing pretty well, like 22 million streams on Spotify already. And I'm like, okay, this is something that maybe we can just, it's not like a hype thing that we only listen to for like 2 months. It's gonna be around for a little longer. So Down in Atlanta is definitely a dub. Down in Atlanta is definitely a dub, and Travis did it justice, for real. So that is my list of the Travis Scott hit or misses of 2022 when it came to features. Now, of course, it's gonna be highly debated. I want to, know what you think about this. That is the interesting part, to hear what every fan has to like say about, certain features, what they liked, what they didn't like. That is what we're here to discuss. But I just saw this list and I was like, maybe I'll give my take on that. So that's it from me. Let me know what you think about this and all your thoughts on this. Did I miss any? Do you really strongly disagree on any of these? All your thoughts on this, please let me know in the comments down below. If you watched this video to the end and liked it, and you want to stay up to date with all current hip-hop events and releases, make sure to subscribe, turn on notifications, hit that like button, and go follow my social media, and most importantly, join my Discord in the description. Until the next one, you'll have an incredible day, and y'all take care.